Hey everyone, I'm Mitch Dyer. This is a Rewind Theater for Street Fighter V. Joining me is Street Fighter 4 professional player Jose Otero.
You are lying right out of the gate, sir. I just want to say.
Are you sure?
One thing you're not. One thing that let's be honest from the start. Street Fighter V is coming to PS4 and PC
with cross-platform play, so I can play on PC and I can fight you while you're playing on your PlayStation.
Yep. The biggest surprise from PlayStation Experience.
Yeah.
And maybe
yeah,
even the
dude.
day before.
Totally.
Yeah. Exclusive Street Fighter.
So
not going anywhere else.
You and I picked this trailer apart a little bit before joining everyone here for the Rewind Theater. You mentioned Ryu looks a little bit older to you.
I think so. Yeah.
He's got like more chiseled facial structure, like his cheekbones are more pronounced.
The body and the proportions on his body definitely remind me and match up to the character model that I remember from Street Fighter 4, but his face definitely looks older to me. Even his hairstyle is slightly, I don't know. So there has been talk about, is this connected to Street Fighter 3, past Street Fighter 3 or not?
Yeah.
There are a couple of compelling pieces of evidence in this trailer
that
suggest it, and we're going to get to that.
I like the new art style a lot. It's like a, I don't know, when I first saw this trailer, I thought it was fake because I was like, oh, it's Street Fighter 4. But the more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh, like look at the detail on his gi. It's all torn, tattered, dirty. You know, their facial expressions are a lot more detailed.
Definitely.
And like you mentioned, like the new character models look really good, and we see like, you know, his arms are just ridiculously huge.
Yep. And you see him against Chun-Li. Chun-Li, same story, right? Like this from the neck down. I feel like that could be any Street Fighter, presumably Street Fighter 4, in terms of the look. But then her face does look older to me. She does look a slightly more mature.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't remember her Street Fighter 4 face very vividly.
Yeah, and I guess that's one of the things that they're trying to take advantage of with this step up in the hardware, right? Is just more detailed look to them.
Yeah. Well, and I maintained this, like, when they announced the new consoles, like, the visual fidelity isn't what you're going to notice in next-gen games. It's physics, and it's lighting and particles, and, like, you're going to see a lot of that in this trailer. Like, what makes this more, a next-gen Street Fighter game is stuff like this. The particles, like, bursting together, and you see, like, the smoky effect of her Kikoken like, fading away against, like, the watery splash of his Hadouken.
Yep.
Like, it looks awesome.
Yeah, that does look really good. And immediately like doing that. So here is the attempt at the first combo in this trailer.
Yeah, and this is something I point out. You don't necessarily agree with me here, but I did want to point
it out.
I'm
not sure. Yeah. I think compelling evidence goes either way. Yes. Okay, that's fair.
Actually, let's watch this in real time. You know, high kick, low punch. I'm not sure if the crouch here with the arms fanned out, I'm not sure if that's her default stance when she's crouched, because you do see after she blocks this first kick, we do get a frame where she is in her normal stance, right? Like she's back to normal. She's blocked. She's back to normal. I wonder if this low block here is actually a parry. I can't tell if he's vulnerable right now, but her arms fan out in a way that
she's kind of stopping the bread and butter Ryu combo, which is jump in with a roundhouse, go for a short punch, and she immediately like pushes out. I think there's compelling evidence either way. I'm not 100% sold.
I mean, it pointed out too if you see her crouch again in this trailer, like
I know I've seen her crouch state before where her arms are out like that, but because it's the first time we're seeing Street Fighter V, we don't really know.
Yeah, I mean,
to be fair,
there's a lot of, like you mentioned, connections to Street Fighter 3, so maybe I'm just hoping that it's a parry.
Yeah, no, it'd be cool. Although I know that it was super hardcore to have to tap into the attack. So, other games have like put in, like, for example, if you tap punch buttons like 3 times in like some of the crossover games, you push back against the attack and get yourself away. It could be that. I mean, we don't know.
This combo here is pretty brutal. I mean, you see, like, just the way they've always been good at this, but 4 was really good, and 5, maintains it. Like, she's knocked back, she's almost falling down, but he catches her with a body strike, and then the way he plants his fist into his opponent's, like, you have that like brief pause, and then he lifts. The animation is really good. The particles again, like you see these visual effects, like the dust kicking up under his feet, the flash on her, and then the white painterly strike as he lifts her into the air.
Yeah, there's a lot of little detail that I swear I would not have noticed on Street Fighter 4 as much.
Yeah, and it flat out just wasn't there.
And that's another sort of bread and butter Ryu player combo, like going with Fierce Punch, then crouching Fierce for the uppercut, and then go for Shoryuken right after.
The spinning bird kick.
So Ken players are more familiar with
me and my people.
Everything.
Spinning bird kick. Not a lot notable here. Just you see more of like the expressive facial expressions.
Yeah, look at him.
Out.
Exactly.
Like the animation, actually, I just noticed this. Like the way Ryu responds to this is like he crouches down, he gets pushed back a little bit, but then he flat out turns 90 degrees there.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And then this next combo after this, although she's just taking a fireball at this point. This is where things get crazy.
Watching real time first.
Yeah, so she takes him up, step, and then takes him back down and continues to punish
So not only does this look like a newish kind of combo, it also shows like I don't traditionally remember Chun-Li being a juggle heavy character, but she's she keeps him airborne with like 2-3 strikes, and then on the way they punch out these lights, and again like big visual effects like popping sparks, things falling out of place, and the environment kind of responding to the violence of these characters.
Absolutely, yeah. And she takes all that on the way down, including that sign with the last.
I just noticed that. Yeah,
yeah.
That's great.
Nope, that's gone too. We're not done here, Ryu.
Am I crazy, or was there a version of Street Fighter 2 where like Ihana could punch somebody through a wall? In like his bathhouse.
No, I don't think that's a thing. But in this game, that scene transition is a thing, and this surprised me a lot.
So what is this?
You might be thinking of Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Actually, I think they had something weird like that.
I swear this was like Super Nintendo stuff.
Yeah. So this right here, we don't know what this is.
You think this is like the EX charge? Like in 4, you would, I don't know if it was like you hit 2 buttons at the same time. And again, like Jose and I are not.
Yeah,
we're not pros. We just like Street Fighter a lot.
No, absolutely. No, so in 4, if you pressed mid punch and mid kick, I believe, you would do a focus attack, which would just sort of charge up, and then you would deliver an unblockable attack. However, this looks a lot different because she sort of switches on a powered up state. It makes me think of the Alpha games off the top of my head, which I'm not entirely sure. I think Alpha 2 had one of an opportunity to use something like that, but then there were like shadows that followed after every hit. Now, I'm not saying that's what showed up here, but what you do see,
it all kind of goes into her wrists.
Yeah, from this point on, her wrists stay lit up, which makes me think she is basically depleting meter at this point.
And you think it's like a constant depletion?
I think so. If it works the way I would imagine something like this, like setting off a high-powered attack has in the past. I keep doing this with my hands.
Yeah, you can't see Jose making Chun-Li poses.
I'm doing Chun-Li poses next to Mitch Dyer.
It's worth worth noting that the transition from where she's standing here to the next shot, like this is not a direct thing. Oh, also, maybe my theory's bunk. She's crouching and her hands are fanned out.
Yeah. But regardless, you see the sort
flare.
The flare on her wrists, which could suggest again she's depleting meter in a high powered state. So let's see the combos she busts out from this point. So you saw like that inky actor effect, right after too, on the wall over there.
That's awesome. I did not notice that. And again, like you said, I love the white painterly trail behind the first Kikoken. And then that lands, and then she does this like cool spin thing. Yeah,
it looks like she fired another one.
I can't tell if she
she did. That's the second one.
Yeah. It's like a double strike there. I don't know if she could do that before. Is that from like different hands too? Yeah, it's right hand, left hand.
Yep. She said, "Have another."
And then as she turns, it like splashes against the bus. That's really cool. I didn't catch that.
I always thought the trailers for Street Fighter 4 were really great because of the inky effects, but they never really showed up in game unless you did a finishing move.
Yeah,
like ultra finish.
Which was super disappointing because the intro to those games always looked so cool, right, with the ink trails behind everyone. But now we're getting. You see a lot of it in these combos. Like she's bursting full of ink here.
Yes.
Every strike like has new effects popping out.
Yep, and her wrists are still lit up, just showing that. So again, this could suggest just sort of an EX style move. Now this is probably the first Ultra you're going to see in this, if they're called Ultras anymore, but whatever the Super Art / Ultra / insert new name here, this is what it's going to look like. This is what it seems to suggest, just from the camera angle change. Then of course,
and, before we get to the wall kick, I really like that you have the kick here has that effect again. Love it. I love that visual effect, dude.
Very nice. No, it's definitely a cool refinement. And she's still not done, and she takes him through the, one can assume is a tea house or something.
Yeah. And then is this the same thing that we saw with her charging up her blue flaming fists? Is this him doing the same thing?
It seems to be the same thing because it sets off sort of an inky sort of effect, and you see lightning crackling around him this time. Now, again, if this was a focus attack, you would see him charge up and then deliver an attack.
Yeah.
And there was even a red focus attack in the last version of Street Fighter, Ultra Street Fighter.
Maybe this is like I don't know. I think 4 had your meter had like 1, 2, 3 sections, or maybe that was Street Fighter Tekken.
No, but those were supers. Like you could definitely like, so if you did a Hadouken with 2 punches or 2 kicks, it would be a stronger version of it.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Well, this might be something like that because you see the ink trail behind it and the electricity.
Yeah, but it stays active. That's the thing that is just blowing my mind.
Is it for him?
Yeah. Like he just fired what looks like a Hadouken, but it had some electricity on it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Although that's not to be confused with the Denjin Hadouken, which we do see later in the trailer. And then his hurricane kick, again, the inky flourish
with the electricity bursting.
Still crackling electricity. it'll be interesting to see if this is one playable style and there'll be multiple styles.
Yeah.
So this may be this next thing. Thank you, Mitch, for getting to the spot. This may be the first guard break you see in this, and this is a guard break. This is post Street Fighter 3 world, because
Right.
Street Fighter 3, or at least that doesn't mean it, but
Sure.
Street Fighter 3 had the ability to basically deplete someone's guard meter, and you can break a guard.
Yeah, and, like you see her guarding here. She's blocking, blocks that one. But then
Yeah.
he throws this Hadouken, and it just, like, it knocks her back.
Yep.
Her hands, like, they separate. They were crossed across her chest, and now
Yep.
they're way
And
back.
then he goes to
and she's
punish.
totally open.
Yep.
He takes
And
big
he
advantage.
punishes, and that looks like Shin Shoryuken
Absolutely.
right there. So that could also be another sign right there. More compelling evidence of this post Street Fighter 3. Is that 2 hits on this punch? This right punch he throws here?
That might be a result. He is, like, still electrified here. Like, if you won, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so I'd say that looks vicious.
Again,
man.
the punch is,
can't-
like, he just hits,
Yeah.
like, a truck. Look at that.
Yep.
Just brutal.
And then this is Denjin Hadouken, which he says Ono has also verified this on the European PlayStation blog. Denjin Hadouken is a super art in Street Fighter 3. Has not been seen since, I don't think, unless you count one of the crossover games that may have made it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, lots and lots of evidence pointing toward some Street Fighter 3 influence.
Yep, or at least a post Street Fighter 3 world, which would be cool. I mean, they kind of went back with 4,
Big
so
time.
it's
Like,
time to go forward.
4 was basically like a modernization of 2, so it'd be really interesting to see 5 be a modernization of 3. Like, I
Yep.
love 3. 3 is one that doesn't get enough love.
No, it doesn't, and it's such a beautiful game. Yeah,
That it? Did we hit everything?
I think we did.
I'm sure we missed a ton. Be sure to let us know in the comments, because there's tons and tons of stuff in this trailer that Jose and I, like we said, we're not pros. There's bound to be some stuff that we missed. So let us know. Tweet at me. I'm Mitch Dyer. Tweet at Jose. You're Jose_Otero.
That's right.
Nailed it.
Got it.
And for all things Street Fighter 5, stay tuned to my favorite website. Is it your favorite website?
Yeah, I work here.
IGN.